Hello and welcome to Health and Beauty Hacks. I'm your host, Mia Sines. And in this episode, you get to meet Chantalynn. Yes, just like Cher or Madonna, Chantalynn, here she is. I love this woman. I've known her for many years. She wears many hats. She's the head of our Santa Monica Holistic Chamber of Commerce when I'm in town there. She's also part of the Hollywood Glam Squad. She just does remarkable stuff with self-love. And so I'm really excited to have you, Chantalynn. And now, once we say hi to everybody, I'm gonna pass it over to you. So how are you today? And welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Mia. I am so honored that you asked me to be here. I love sharing my love, and I have big love for you because you stand for everything there is to know about self-love. And when you have self-love, beauty comes with it naturally. So thank you
Yeah,
for having me. I'm excited to be here.
yeah, thank you for being on. I'm excited to have you. Beauty is one of my favorite things because I used to hide from it growing up with a mother who owned a makeup company and my sister was a model. They
Oh.
spend far too much time on their looks. And so if I can't do it in 5 minutes, it's not going to get done on my face. But I do believe that beauty comes from the inside out. And when we work on ourselves and when we are in that place of love, of self love, it's remarkable. We don't have as many wrinkles and we have less stress lines and things like that. So I'm excited you're here. So share with us what brought you to, you have an amazing story to begin with. What, and yes, I do want it to go back to the early childhood if that's okay, because it is really remarkable. But what brought you to the work that you do, because you do include self-love with your beauty work.
Yes, I feel personally that how you do anything is how you do everything.
Mhm.
And when you start with self-love, which I feel you can never have enough love, and we need to give it to ourselves because in doing self-love, you're also opening yourself to receive love because you know what it's like, you know what it feels like. And for me, I grew up in Vietnam. We were the Vietnamese boat people, my mom and I. We escaped out of Vietnam. I almost drowned coming over here. So for me, from that moment on, everything is icing on the cake.
Mhm.
So, and then when I got here, funny enough, in LA, we have, all these Vietnamese nail technicians in LA. And because with the language barrier, you only have to take 350 hours of instruction and then you pass a test and you get your license. And it was a way for us to make a living and feed our families with very little training time. So that's why everybody got into it. So did my mom. And I can relate to you with your mom having a makeup company and your sister being a model. My mother, my whole life when I was growing up, was the most beautiful woman in the city, in the area, wherever we went. Even in high school, guys would say to me, God, your mom's so beautiful. And my mother is only 16 years older than me. So she is almost like a big sister.
Mhm.
And so growing up, I didn't feel pretty either. I always have to work on my personality because I thought, okay, I don't have the look, so I got to put the personality in it. It wasn't until growing up here that more and more people say to me, well, you are really cute. And I said, well, I love the beauty industry because I actually admire my mom and I adored her. She was like my role model and she was on my pedestal. And so when she got into the nail business, one day I went to the school where she was training and she said, you would be really good at this. And I'm like, yes, I would be, because I've been painting my mom's nails since I was 11. And she always wore these red, beautiful nails. And I remember getting mad because she wouldn't tell people that I did it because she was coming from a place of shame. She was embarrassed because in Vietnam, she'd be getting her nails done. And here she's embarrassed to say, oh, I don't have enough money to go get my nails done. So my little daughter painted it for me. And she didn't want to tell people that. And I was like, wait, where's my credit?
Yeah.
So, that's how it all started. So I signed up with her and you know, oh, I apologize. Is that me?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Hold on one moment, please. I'm going to take care of that. I apologize. Okay. There we go. I turned off everything. So then, I did sign up to go get my license because my mom said we can open a salon together. And I'm like, okay. But by the time I got to the cosmetology school, she didn't sign me up for just manicure. She talked me into doing a whole cosmetology program. So it was not 350 hours, it was 1,600 hours, which took me 2 years. I was in high school when I started. It was 1984. And so, but then she opened a salon in 84. So that's when I started apprenticing and running the salon and helping her with stuff and start working as a manicurist since 1984. And then, one thing lead to another. I was very good at what I do. And of course, I was funny. And so people hire me to do job. And one day I started doing commercials, nails for the commercials, like when they have hand models and things like that, people pull me in. And because I was great at what I do, I love each person that I hold hands with because that's just how I give a service. I give it in the way that I want to receive. So the self-love was always there. And one of my closest friends, she told me, "You're like a healer. Your hands give such beautiful, loving energy. I just want you to hold my hands for a long time, And that's how I do everything. Wait, if I was giving you a manicure, that hour that I set out for you would be all about you. And it's all about me giving you unconditional love and blasts of like good energy. And at the end, you walk away with something so visually stunning to look at, So it always, it was more like a hobby, but it did support me. Even now, it was, that's how I pay rent most of the time because I would say in LA, I'm probably at the top of the game with being a manicure in Hollywood because people get me in. I do a great job. I'm really fast. I know what I'm doing. I'm pleasant to be around. They send me anybody who's, stressing out or any difficult clients were all sent to me because they go, oh, she'll take care of them,
Do you
And
work on this? Do you work on the sets?
yes, I
Yeah.
still do. I've been working on sets for years. I've been doing, commercials for years. Actually, one of my biggest clients, ABC, I do all of their promos. So, I've been holding hands with all the different stars from all the different shows. It started out in 2005 with ABC, and I did Desperate Housewives was my first show. So I would do nails for Terry Hatcher and all the ladies.
Yeah.
And then, the most recent job I had, actually only one job during the whole COVID because productions were, they were all
They
shut
were
down.
all shut down. Yeah.
So my last one was The Bachelorette.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah, so I did The Bachelorette's nails just about a few weeks ago. So I'm still working, and more so now because they trust me, and that trust is important.
Yes.
It is a personal service, so your up close is an intimate kind of a session, and they want to make sure you have the personality to get along with all personalities, and that I'm also very discreet. I only mention anything or do anything when it's public knowledge.
Right. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get into the conversation about love, the body, all of that. So what we put into our body is
It's important because I care about, like I said, how you do anything is how you do everything. So what you put in your body is important, what you put on your body is important, what you put around you is important, and the whole body, mind, spirit connection. So everything has to be laced through with love, through love, and all of that for me. So I seek out products that I enjoy. Like for instance, for beauty, I rep Beautycounter. I love the high performance products, but I also believe in the activism side. We actually go to Capitol Hill and ask for better regulations on the personal care industry. We want to make sure that we are not filled with chemicals and carcinogens and hormone disruptors and endocrine disruptors. So I help my clients starting with that, just to clean out your makeup bag, maybe, and then with my nail business, I use organic nail polishes as much as I can. I mean, there's still chemicals in getting the job done, but I do my best. Like I use the best lotions, the best cuticle oils, and the best nail polishes possible. That is safe and it lasts because nobody wants chip nails at the end of the day.
I bring my organic stuff with me and oil and stuff for my hands. That I don't use what the shop has.
Exactly. And that's what I would suggest to people. I do have some private clients where I come to and do house calls for them. I always say if you have to go somewhere, it is really nice to have your own supplies, your own implements, because you want to be mindful. You know, the shops are going to do the best they can. And a lot of time these bacteria or virus, you know, it could be airborne. We don't know, you know, and just to be on the safe side, I do as much precautionary as possible. Like I make sure everything's clean. And like I said, I put a lot of love into all of my services. And even, you know, with coaching people how to live cleaner, healthier lives. And one of the organizations I told you about was Cancer Schmancer. So Fran Drescher started out as my nail client, you know, back in 96. So we're talking about a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And I remember back then we didn't know about her cancer. You know, I watched her 2 years and 8 doctors later just to get the proper diagnosis of uterine cancer.
Right. Hers was unusual.
Yeah. And thank God it was a slow growth kind, because had it been breast or something, it might have been really detrimental to her. So, you know, I love what she's doing, and she's like my best friend, my big sister, and I support the organization completely and she supports me. And, you know, we're trying to help people live healthier, cleaner, happier lives. You know,
Yeah.
love. And it is started with self-love.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, so we've talked about the outside, the inside, part of it's the food we eat too, but and you're a big foodie. That's
Yeah.
how she and I know each other. We would go, well, we
Oh,
knew each other from Holistic Chamber of Commerce, but we would go and have little ladies lunches when I was in LA. It was fun. Yeah.
tell you, I drove by our restaurant last night and it's closed.
Is it? Oh,
Prospect Gourmand.
yeah. I didn't realize it was closed but so many places are closed in LA. They
Yeah.
were doing to go when they were in lockdown before.
Mhm.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah.
So on products for our bodies, let's talk a little bit more. Like I use African black soap because it has nothing in it. I mean, I use other stuff too, but I look to make sure that I don't have anything with parabens or
Yes.
any kind of chemicals that settles into our body. We have so many toxins in our body being on planet Earth anyways, that we really do need to be careful. Are there things that you recommend? I know you were talking about Beautycounter. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
Well, okay, thank you. Beautycounter was started by a woman, and her name is Greg, Greggg, like a man's name,
Uh-huh.
you know. And she's a mom right here in Santa Monica. And about 7 years ago, she went to see the movie Inconvenient Truth, and she was so inspired. And she came home and looked under her sink and realized that all these products have chemicals in them.
Mhm.
And so she said, wow, we need to protect the future generations as well as the planet. So she set out to create this company, and it started out with like 5 products. I joined Beautycounter about 4.5 years ago, and it's been an amazing journey for me in so many ways. I didn't know what it was all about, but I knew that it was in alignment with what I believe in, as well as Cancer Schmancer's mission, because Cancer Schmancer, we go to Capitol Hill and ask for better screening for the, you know, for the women, you know, gynecological cancer screenings, because besides the mammograms and the pap smears, insurance doesn't pay for anything else. So Beautycounter came into my life, and I'm like, yes, it was from a parent from daycare. And I didn't know the parent very well, but Stacy said, let's have coffee. I love the way you live. I love what you're all about. And I want you to check this out because it has the great products, which I'm in the beauty business. So I love beauty products. And it has the high performance, and it has the cleanliness, and it has the activism side. So that's why I chose it. And so
Nice.
for the last 4.5 years, my son and I, and when I had a boyfriend, we use all their products, you know, from shaving cream to lotion to um, shampoos to even baby products, because I feel safe. And that feels nice that someone read the label for me. And I also believe in transparency. You know, honesty is the best policy. And, you know, that goes into whether conversations with self, the whole self-love, we got to be honest with ourselves, what we need to feel nourished or loved. I love that every ingredient is every item has all the ingredient list online for people to see. So the complete transparency is so important because we can have a natural organic ingredient, but you're still allergic. There are people who are allergic, like we're allergic to strawberries. It could be organic all they want. They're still allergic,
Right,
or
right.
peanuts, peanut allergy.
Mhm.
You can have organic, the best growing peanuts, but that person's allergic. They have to know that it's in the product so they can avoid it. So I believe in that kind of conscious capitalism, businesses nowadays that are doing things that are putting people and planet at the same level as profits. And that again, it's for me, it's a sign of self-love when you are aware and you're paying attention, and it doesn't matter who's in charge, who's the president. We have to take control of our bodies, we have to take control of our lives, and how we live equals how we feel. And so if you live with love, you're going to feel love, right? The more you tap into it, the more what we focus on expands. So the self-love and the beauty, all of that to me is all in one. You can't have beauty without the love because then it's not sustainable.
Right.
And love is beauty by itself, like everything we use. There's a mindfulness about it. And I like to vote with my dollars because I'm not the one making the products. So if I'm not making it, then I want to go out and support the farmers who are growing nice things or the products that are the best for us to use. Yeah.
When you talked a little bit about changing the products under your sink, in your bathrooms that you use. We're not talking about body products, but like stuff to clean.
Mm,
Why don't we talk a little bit about that? Because that's the stuff we use around us and
yes.
how important that is as well.
Yes, it's very important. And especially when I speak to a lot of women, women, for the most part, are the purchasing authority of every household, right? You are the one who buy all the groceries and you buy all the cleaning supplies, all the gardening supplies, and all of that. You're making the buying decisions. So it's so important to read labels and to understand that you're not putting more chemicals than necessary in your household. We're doing the best we can. And my philosophy is never to be militant, but to be mindful. Do what we can. Sometimes you can't help it. There are certain things, like I said, in Hollywood, when I'm using my set, there are times acetone is necessary to clean up a mess.
Mhm.
And I will use it, I will have it, but is that my go-to? No. So it's all about being mindful about it. So yes, I like to make sure that every single cleaning products, I'm not using my regular Comet like I used to for years and years. Now I'm using Bon Ami powder or Barkeepers. I'm doing reading. And I think you said you love the company Melaleuca. I looked into that company and I love everything about them because it's all natural. I think their philosophy is if you can put it in your mouth, it's safe.
Right.
I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's great. And again, I think the mindfulness, that's also self-love too. You love yourself enough to care about every single thing you come in contact with. Same with relationships, same with products, same with cleaning supplies, same with beauty products, food. I love food and I constantly have to be very mindful what I put in my mouth, And there are, I think, again, not being militant, if I go home to my mom and she's making me my favorite childhood dish, and she may not have access to organic produce or groceries, but she made it with love. And I'm like, I'm going to bless this dish and I'm going to receive the love my mom made for me because I know the intention is there. And sometimes in our lives, intention is enough. We have to start with the loving intention.
That's beautiful. And sometimes intention is enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a beautiful energetic flow between intention and action. And so I love that you said that. And it's also not about um, going neurotic
No,
about stuff, right?
stress will kill you.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes us shift into ways that are not normal for us. So I love that. It's really important it's self-responsibility is what it is. All of the things, the internal, the external, the around us, what we're aware of. It's very important for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about what's going on outside in our planet is that we're bringing toxins in, even in breathing. And they have found plastics and the nano size in raindrops, the areas in which your eye can't see. That's what that means. It's not AI stuff, everybody. So when we talk about nano,
Right.
so literally, we have even plastics in our raindrops. So plastics are in our fish, plastics are everywhere. So it just makes us to think about, what can we do to support our body? Little things do matter, little things do shift and change us. So I like that you brought that all up.
Yeah, no, they are finding plastic in mother's breast milk. And the mother, it's from years of exposure. It's not even the mother's fault sometimes, she could eat cleanly while she's pregnant, but
Mhm.
it's the exposure. So we're talking
Right.
about being mindful and minimizing all the exposure and filling your space with good products, good intention,
Mhm.
love, all of that. It's so important.
Yeah, we're also finding that things like the plastics and stuff, and this is not to scare you guys, but it's just for awareness, that even humanity is 50% less likely to populate, because our bodies are not operating at the function that they once were 50 years ago, 70 years ago, when
Yeah.
we had less in our system. So it's just interesting to look at. Nobody go crazy on yourself about this, literally, because that's not gentleness, that's not self-love. It's about your awareness. What do you want to allow into your body, and what don't you? I mean, when you think of it like that, that's pretty simple, right? It's
Yeah.
very simple. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
No shame, blame, or anything. Just
those things never really work. It just make us feel sad and sick, and we
and
don't want
icky. Yeah. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
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 Awesome. So also, clothing and towels and bed sheets are also things that carry different chemicals unless they don't. And people don't realize that, like our bed sheets and even pajamas and stuff are gassed with, I don't know if gassing is the word, chemicals are put on it so that they don't burn really fast.
Yes. Oh
Right?
my God, those are the worst. I think there was a movie, a documentary, a few years ago called I can't remember, scent or something. Anyway, they talk about how you see fragrance. If you see the word fragrance in any of your products, whether it's personal or cleaning supplies, they are protected legally to say that they have proprietary blend, so they won't disclose to you what's in those things. So when you see the word fragrance, it's suspect to me.
Mhm.
And so I would say, be careful about that. Just be mindful. They in the movie they talk about children's pajamas being doused with fire retardant
Mhm.
or mattresses. Well, those things off gassing, and you're exposed to it if you're sleeping on a brand new mattress that is, doused with fire retardant.
Mhm.
Some of that's going to go into you while you're asleep, and so
Mhm.
I rather not, you know.
Yeah.
And that is important that you brought that up, because chemicals are everywhere, is being treated for everything.
Yes.
And same thing with our food supply. We can't help it. We are exposed. It's in the air, it's in our water, and we do the best we can. And that's the point. We do the best we can, and that balance of loving and nurturing and nourishing the best we can. We also have to, be okay with what is, which is a big deal in life.
It absolutely is, right? I mean, it seriously is a big deal.
Mhm.
I'm not going to let you go yet, but you do have a free gift for everybody. Would you like to share that with us?
Yes, I would love to. I don't remember what I said before to you,
Okay.
but I said I wanted to offer a free.
Let me say, uh,
Yes, but
Beautycounter products, your morning ritual. No, that's what yeah, your morning ritual and body scan meditation.
oh yes.
So your email is attached to the to that your email is attached to the email that everybody will get, as in the place in which to get their free gift. So
Okay, yes.
yeah.
People can reach out to me at Chantalynn at chantalynn.com, Chantalynn at CHANTALYNN.com, or they can just go straight to my website, chantalynn.com, and just mention the Mia Health and Beauty Hack Show. I will definitely gift everyone with my recipe for my morning teas that I take every morning, which is hot water, lemon, honey, a touch of cayenne pepper, and apple cider
I
vinegar.
love that. I take that
Yeah,
too.
it feels so good. It's very nourishing for my body after a long night's sleep, that my body gets something warm and nourishing. However, it's not for everyone. And again, the biggest love you can give yourself is knowing your body, knowing your biology, feeling into what feels good, because what feels good to me may not feel good to you.
Right.
And we have to honor that because we're all different. And then I have started doing for my community. I've always been, a closet healer, but with my son for the last 15 years, I have done this. Like I said, when I'm doing manicure, I'm blasting people with unconditional love, and that whole hour is all about them. Like when I was in a salon, after each person, I clean my station as if no one had ever been there, so it's fresh for each person to sit down. I wash my hands, obviously, to wash, not just to be sanitary, but also for the energetics. I want to make sure that I clear myself so that I'm a clean, clear vessel for my next client. And then if some client, they would share some things that are going on and it's heavy, I would then also do like a little gargle mouthwash just to make sure, or wash my face. Like I do this whole ritual so that I can come in fresh for the next person. So with that, my son had trouble sleeping because he was a hyperactive boy. So every night we would do what I call a body scan meditation. So I was offering that to my community, but during this COVID time, I took it up a notch. So for people in LA who wants to meet up with me when the weather is nice, we would meet over the bluff in Santa Monica. And I set out like an hour and a half to 2 hour time to be with someone. And they show up and I will give them a little kind of like a picnic blanket over the bluff. We'll bring a journal, we'll do some intention writing. I'll feed you a little hot tea or something nourishing, organic nauseous or snacks. And we'll watch, we'll do a little body scan. And what it is, I'm calling it last ray spiritual massage. And so you get to lie down and I will do Reiki healing, as well as guided meditation, and it will relax from your head all the way down to your toes, back and forth, and then we'll watch the sunset. So that's like my offer for all of my LA peeps.
Yeah.
But for people who are not in LA, I'm more than happy to offer that gift over the phone, because I have guided healing over the phone as well. It works just as nice.
Yeah.
But I'm a hands-on person too, so it'll be Reiki, hands-on, guided, loving, and basically you get to let go and let me hold the space and let Mother Earth carry you. And for that moment, you're flooding your whole entire system with so much love.
Beautiful.
That it calms the parasympathetic, and it just, it's a beautiful treatment, pampering to oneself.
That's really beautiful. Really beautiful. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we say goodbye?
Well, I want to say that I am passionate about healthcare and wellness and beauty. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to support. I take a lot of joy in making you feel loved, making you feel beautiful, and bringing that light and love out. And that's a gift to myself as well. So I'm passionate about it.
That's beautiful. Very beautiful, honey. Thank you so much, Chantalynn, for being on.
Thank you so much for having me. I was honored when you asked me, Mia, because I look up to you. I respect you. I love what you're doing. And I am watching your journey with so much love and adoration.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love you. So thank you very much. Yeah. Wonderful. And thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you in another episode of Health and Beauty Hacks. Bye.
Bye.